I'm Erykah and welcome to an episode of 5 Minutes With. Today we've got 5 minutes with a freelance TV editor. So hello, thanks for being with us.
That's all right, it's nice to take part.
Yeah. So could you introduce yourself and tell us what your job is, please?
Yes, so my name's Rahim Mastafa, and basically I'm a freelance avid editor. So I work I just always work in TV. I do come from a corporate background, but that's basically what I do now full time, is just offline editing.
Okay. And so what does that look like on an average day for you?
It depends on the project, because sometimes it's just, if it's at the start of a project, it's often quite boring because I'm just trying to get all the technical stuff done. If I work on a documentary or whatever, it's just sitting there going through the footage, laying down the talking heads, as they say, and what have you. That's the boring part of the job, just laying stuff down, and it's, that's also the key part, though, because that's where you weave the story and get everything down, the bones of the program. And then you can do, once you've done all that sort of stuff, that's when the creative stuff starts happening, so you can do the actual proper editing, which I love doing.
So how did you get into editing?
All of my jobs before I started in the sort of, like I said, I mentioned earlier, the corporate sector were manual jobs. And I was a window cleaner, I was a trolley collector, I was a labourer. I've got one GCSE to this day, that's my only qualifications, because I lived in Berlin. My whole schooling was in Germany. Yeah. And we moved here, and it was a clash of my in education and stuff. So I struggled for a few years to get a decent job because I only had one GCSE. And then I landed this job, and this particular company was a PR company, but they were great because they recognize talent that people have who come to work for them, and then they train up their staff. My boss said on the first day, he said, we're all a bit busy right now, but just have a play on the computer, and then when it's less busy, we'll show you what to do. And I was like, well, I can't play on the computer. I'm going to delete something. I don't know what I'm doing, Yeah. So the first thing I did, I started drawing pictures in Microsoft Paint, right? Okay. And my boss was literally sat on the next desk, kind of like across in the office. And he saw it. He was like, oh, that's actually really good. Yeah. And then he gave me Photoshop. The next day, he came in and bought me Photoshop, put the manual in front of me, and he said, right, here you go, start at the beginning. That's kind of like the first thing that I had computer knowledge, was doing Photoshop for a year. And they moved my desk into the edit suite where they were making the corporate videos. Okay. And so I was like, I want to start doing, moving pictures. I've done enough, photos. I want to start doing this. And it was all just very basic introduction stuff. And that was it. And that was back in 2000. So it's been a while, when I started doing that. But again, it was just literally from having no experience, no knowledge. Yeah. But it was just will and determination and wanting to prove myself.
So I was wondering if you could talk to yourself back when you were first starting out and you weren't really sure, you were going from labour to getting into this kind of sector. If you could talk to yourself back then, what would you say to yourself now? Having all of this knowledge and knowing that you can do all of these things, what would you say to yourself now if you could?
If I were to have, because when I was younger, I always wanted to work in film and TV. Loads of people want to work in film and television. Yeah. Everybody wants to be in the movies and all that kind of stuff. And because I knew that back then, I think, I should have sat down and thought, right, what exactly do I want to do? Yeah. I didn't think editing would have been it. Yeah, I said, make your mind up quicker if you can. Yeah. Yeah.
And is that the same advice that you'd give to other early career creatives?
I'm guessing because you know that you want to get into the industry. Okay, now what you need to do is, now that you know what you want to do, is go and approach every single person that you know, or ask their friends. Maybe people know people. I think the most important thing is to get that foot in the door, the initial thing, and then network basically. And if you do get in with a particular at a post-production facility, or you land some work experience or whatever, do your best. Yeah. Obviously. Don't be cocky, don't be, an idiot and think I've got it now. And all that. Just be humble and be nice. People like nice people.
And what's your favourite thing about doing the job that you do in Cardiff?
No, there's so much work in Cardiff, I've always found. Yeah. And plenty coming in, and all the facilities are here, and, I think it was, people always used to say all the work was in London or Bristol had a lot, but no, I think Cardiff's pretty solid,
And so finally, for anyone that was kind of, that's watched this and is now inspired by you and sort of looking to see the things you do and potentially contact you, could you let us know where you're available? Obviously we'll link to it all, but if you just let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, I think the trouble is I don't know all the names of my handles and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But generally, if you will look for Rahim Mastafa, my profile picture is generally the one where I'm holding an award with a silly grin on my face at my desk. So Twitter, LinkedIn. For professional kind of stuff, it would be LinkedIn and Twitter, I guess. But just look for my name and you shall find it.
Okay. Yeah, we will. Well, thank you so much for coming.
That's
thank you for sharing all your wisdom. That was really insightful. So thank you for watching this episode of 5 Minutes With, and make sure that you keep up to date with the Creative Cardiff social media for the next episodes.